Is March the month you stare out at your garden, feeling totally overwhelmed, not knowing where to even begin? One minute it's freezing, the next it feels like spring, and the to-do list seems a mile long. Well, fear not. In this video, we are going to break down your entire March 2026 gardening plan, week by week. By the end of this, you'll have a clear, simple, and foolproof checklist to get your garden off to its best start ever. We're talking less stress and more beautiful blooms and veggies later on. So grab a notepad and let's dig in. Before we dive into week one, let's talk about why March is such a pivotal month for any gardener. It is the ultimate transition period. The ground is slowly waking up, the sun is getting stronger, and the decisions you make now will literally set the stage for your entire growing season. Think of March as the spring training for your garden. It's when you get your team, which is your soil, your seeds, and your tools, in peak condition for the big game ahead. Getting it right this month means preventing problems down the road, from weak plants to a jungle of weeds. It's all about preparation and timing, and we're going to nail them both. Our first block is all about what you can do from the comfort of your couch. Let's call it the armchair gardener phase. This happens in the very first days of March. Your first task is to take inventory. Go through the seeds you saved from last year. Are they still viable? A quick germination test can save you a lot of heartache later. Just place 10 seeds on a damp paper towel, put it in a plastic bag, and see how many sprout in a week. If fewer than 7 pop, it's time to buy new ones. Next, finalize your garden plan. Where are you planting your tomatoes this year? Are you trying any new varieties? Draw a simple map of your garden beds. This isn't just for fun. It helps with crop rotation and ensures you buy the right number of plants or seeds. Once your list is ready, place your seed and supply orders now. Seriously, do it now. Popular varieties sell out surprisingly fast. Imagine a cozy shot of someone with a steaming mug, surrounded by colorful seed catalogs and a garden journal. This is the calm before the beautiful, busy storm. All right, still in early March, it's time for the tool tune-up. Nothing is more frustrating than heading out for your first big garden day only to find a rusty trowel, dull pruners, or a busted hose. Let's prevent that. Gather all of your tools. For any metal tools like shovels, spades, and hoes, use a wire brush to scrub off any caked-on dirt and rust. Then sharpen the edges with a good metal file. A sharp shovel cuts through soil and roots so much easier. For your pruners and loppers, take them apart if you can. Clean every piece and sharpen the blades with a sharpening stone. A clean, sharp cut is healthier for your plants. After cleaning and sharpening, wipe all metal parts with a lightly oiled rag to prevent future rust. Check your hoses and nozzles for any leaks or cracks that might have formed over the winter. And finally, organize everything so you can find it easily. A satisfying visual for this would be a time-lapse of rusty, dirty tools being transformed into a gleaming, organized collection, ready for action. Now we're getting into the first full week of March, and it's time for one of the most exciting tasks. Let the seeding begin. But this is part one, focusing on cool weather crops. These are the plants that don't mind a little chill and can be planted outside before your last frost date. We're talking about things like broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, kale, and lettuce. By starting them indoors now, you're giving them a 6 to 8 week head start. You'll need seed starting mix, which is lighter than potting soil, and some clean containers with drainage holes. Moisten the mix, fill your containers, and plant the seeds according to the packet's depth instructions. Don't plant them too deep. A common mistake. Cover them with a plastic dome or wrap to keep humidity high until they sprout. Then get them under a light source. A sunny window might work, but for strong, straight seedlings, a simple shop light or grow light is your best friend. Keep it just a few inches above the tops of the plants. As we move into the second week of March, you'll likely have some days that are nice enough to work outside. This is the time for the big outdoor cleanup. Your main job is to act like a garden neat freak. Rake away any fallen leaves and dead plant matter from your garden beds and lawn. This is important because old soggy debris can harbor pests and diseases. For your perennial plants like hostas or daylilies, you can now cut back all of the dead brown foliage from last year to make way for new growth. However, let's bust a myth here. You don't have to sterilize your garden to the bare earth. If you have ornamental grasses or seed heads from plants like coneflowers, consider leaving some of them standing for a little while longer. They provide crucial food and habitat for birds and beneficial insects that are just starting to wake up. It's a balance between tidy and nature-friendly. The visual here is clearing away the old brown decay to reveal the fresh green shoots of new life just beginning to emerge. While you're cleaning up the garden in week 2, your attention will naturally turn to the soil. It's time to wake it up, but gently. The single most important rule right now is this: do not work your soil when it is too wet. How do you know? Grab a handful of soil and squeeze it. If it drips water or forms a dense, muddy ball, it's too wet. Working it now will destroy its structure, compacting it into something like a brick for the rest of the season. Wait until that handful of soil crumbles apart when you open your hand. Once it's ready, your job is simple. You don't need to do a massive back-breaking tilling. Instead, gently loosen the top few inches with a garden fork. Then, spread a generous 1 to 2 inch layer of compost or well-rotted manure over the entire surface of your beds. You can just leave it on top. The worms and rain will do the work of mixing it in for you. This single act feeds the soil, improves drainage, and gives your plants the perfect foundation for growth. We're in the third week of March, and for many, the soil is now workable, and the risk of a deep freeze is lessening. It's time for some early outdoor planting. This is for the toughest of the tough plants. Think of things that are sold as bare root, like rose bushes, fruit trees, and some shrubs. Planting them now, while they are dormant, gives their roots time to establish before the plant has to support leaves and flowers. This is also the prime time to plant very hardy vegetables directly into the garden. We're talking about things like peas, spinach, radishes, and onion sets. They can handle the cold, and in fact, they prefer it. They will germinate and grow in the cool soil and will often be ready to harvest before the summer heat even arrives. Make sure you read the seed packet for the proper planting depth and spacing. Imagine a shot of someone carefully planting rows of peas, a classic sign that the gardening season has truly, officially begun. Also happening in week 3, we're heading back inside for seeding round 2, the warmth lovers. These are the superstars of the summer garden that need a long growing season and cannot tolerate any frost. I'm talking about tomatoes, peppers, and eggplants. They need to be started indoors about 6 to 8 weeks before your average last frost date, and for many gardeners, mid to late March is the perfect time. The process is the same as with the cool weather crops. Use a quality seed starting mix in clean containers. But there is one key difference. These seeds need more warmth to germinate. While lettuce might sprout in a cool room, tomatoes and especially peppers love heat. A simple heat mat placed under your seed trays can dramatically speed up germination, often cutting the time in half. Once they sprout, get them under those grow lights immediately. Keep the lights on for about 16 hours a day to simulate the long days of summer they're dreaming of. As we enter the final week of March, it's time for a preemptive strike on weeds. The best time to deal with weeds is before you can even see them. Many weed seeds from last year are just waiting in the top layer of your soil, ready to explode as soon as the weather warms up. Your first line of defense is a light hoeing. On a dry, sunny day, gently skim the surface of your soil with a hoe to disrupt and dry out any tiny thread-like weeds that have just germinated. Your second and most powerful weapon is mulch. After you've planted any of your hardy crops, apply a 2 to 3 inch layer of mulch, like shredded leaves, straw, or wood chips, over the entire bed. This does two amazing things. It blocks sunlight from reaching the weed seeds, preventing them from sprouting, and it conserves soil moisture, meaning you'll have to water less later on. It's one of the most effective, labor-saving things you can do all year. This is a critical task for late March, especially for those seedlings you started weeks ago. It's time for hardening off, a plant's boot camp. Your indoor seedlings have had a pampered life. They've had stable temperatures, no wind, and gentle light. If you were to take them from that environment and plant them directly into the garden, they would go into shock, get sunburned, and likely die. You have to acclimate them gradually. The process takes about a week to 10 days. Start by placing them outside in a shady, sheltered spot for just an hour on the first day. The next day, leave them out for 2 hours, maybe with a little morning sun. Each day gradually increase the amount of time and direct sunlight they receive. Be sure to bring them in if the temperature drops too low at night or if it's very windy. This process toughens up the plant's cells, preparing them for the realities of outdoor life. It's a little extra work, but it ensures your precious seedlings survive the transition. Finally, as March comes to a close, let's not forget the frame around your beautiful garden beds. The lawn. It's time for a lawn care kickstart. The grass is just beginning to wake from dormancy, and a little attention now goes a long way. Start by gently raking the lawn to remove any lingering leaves, debris, or matted dead grass, which is also known as thatch. This improves air and water flow to the soil and grass roots. As you rake, take a walk around and assess the situation. Are there any bare patches from winter damage or voles that might need reseeding? Make a note of them. If the grass has started growing and has reached about 3 inches high, you can give it its first mow of the season. Make sure your mower blade is sharp and set it to a high setting. You only want to trim off the very top third of the grass blades. This encourages the roots to grow deeper, creating a stronger, more drought-tolerant lawn for the summer ahead. And there you have it, A complete week-by-week breakdown to conquer your March garden. From the initial planning and tool cleaning to starting 2 rounds of seeds indoors, waking up your soil, and getting those first hardy plants in the ground. We even covered the preemptive strike on weeds and the critical boot camp for your seedlings. March doesn't have to be a month of chaos and confusion. The most important takeaway is that by breaking it down into these manageable weekly tasks, you're not just doing chores. You are actively and intelligently setting up a system for a healthier, more productive, and far more beautiful garden for the rest of 2026. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this weekly plan helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more gardening guides. We would love to have you in our community. And now, for my question to you. What is the number one task you are most excited, or maybe most nervous, to tackle in your garden this March? Let me know in the comments below.